Good morning. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, April 14th. We are rolling right on through April here. Um, got some stuff to talk about today. I'm going to pull up the weekly message real quick while we wait for everybody to roll in here. Let me also put this link on the Facebook. Anybody here remember when the website for Facebook was actually thefacebook.com because somebody else owned Facebook? Fun little tidbit. Let's see. We're just going to create a post. Alrighty. Maybe our Facebook fam will join us from there. Oh, at least not good. It didn't use the normal thumbnail. Use the actual thumbnail from the stream, which is way better. If I can, again, this is, thanks, Miss Petzold. I was just about to ask. That's awesome. Yeah, I have recently, for the last 3 weeks, been like tinkering with this whole setup thing. And for whatever reason, I've been using while we wait on people, you can talk boring technical stuff. I've been using this USB-C like port replicator thing. And for whatever reason, the USB-B or A, whatever the old square rectangular ones are, they keep dropping connection. So like my mouse will quit working, my keyboard will quit working, the microphone will quit working. So I got rid of my second monitor and I just have my laptop and I'm plugged into the sound of the camera directly. So this should be, actually the video seems like it's going much quicker than it has in the past. So welcome everybody, and let's get going. I will go find our weekly message. The first thing that I know I want to go over is today's an asynchronous day. It was nice to see some students this morning and say, hey, good morning. It's beautiful weather outside. So why don't you go enjoy it? Because we don't have to be here today. But yes, today is a remote learning day. And as a reminder, we're going to do a weekly overview in the weekly message every week. So at the very top, there's a little calendar for the week. And if there's a remote learning day, we'll get that in there. So you'll know on Sunday night, oh yeah, we're not in school on Wednesday. So just a note there. I'm also we've had some feedback that it's not easy to find that calendar. So Miss Midget has resent me the original dates document that she created, and we're going to post it on the website right next to the pictures. There's that set of links that we keep pretty consistent. We're going to put the link over there to the spring asynchronous day calendar or something like that. So just know that resource is coming. We have heard that a lot of you need quicker and better access to that. So we're working on that for sure. Cap and gown distribution is tomorrow from 3 to 4. So if you didn't get your cap and gown during the first distribution, I have to go back and look and see when that was. You can come tomorrow from 3 to 4. That'll be in the parking lot right back there behind the cafeteria. It is best if you enter from Dixie Forest, right across from the Waffle House back there, and come by the stadium and not drive around the back of the school. Okie dokie. I'm going to go over the stuff from the Google form so that we have that. It's super cool that people are using that. We get some questions in there, and it's nice that people can ask that even if they're not with us live and they watch it later. I think we've got about 200, 250 people on really good weeks checking back in with this. So we got a question from last week, which was, can we have another chance to sign the form about a change of plan? The unfortunate answer to that is no. Per the way the state set it up and our requirements for having schedules locked in, we cannot change any student settings at this point. So if you didn't sign up to change from A to virtual or virtual to A, it is too late for that, and I'm sorry. This is a great question. My son needs to make up his state math exam. So there are still students from first semester who took the option to defer their state testing to later this year. And we have had some makeup testing dates on asynchronous days earlier. At the very worst, you'll be able to take those in June when everyone else takes their exams. There might be one more EOC testing day. And if so, we'll get that out in the weekly message, and we'll finalize that with Ms. Sanchez, our testing coordinator. Is it true for next school year there will be a virtual option? Yes. If so, when do we sign up for virtual or in-person learning for 21-22? I believe the situation is going to be, you're going to be defaulted back into the building. You're going to have to sign up for Virtual Academy. That is supposed to be for 10 days this month. And I'm going to see how quickly, maybe somebody has access to that link from WCPSS, but I'll look for it here in a minute. There will be a sign up. There is still a lot of, we're going to start signing up while they're still sort of building the plane. Things that we can anticipate is I don't think you're going to have the same slate of courses. Like Virtual Academy is going to be an option to be virtual and stay at home, but it is going to be a much more bare bones experience. If you want the robust classes that we offer here at Millbrook, you are going to need to be in the building for that. But again, none of that is finalized. We're waiting to hear on expectations for how we schedule that with staff. I am reasonably sure that one of the expectations is that we won't have any hybrid settings. We will be required, it's either a virtual class or an in-person class for teachers, which is better for kids and for teachers. So yes, there's a virtual option. Sign up should be a 10-day window this month. And I remember seeing somewhere that it was like not to start before or after this date. So 10 days in April, I guess that means they have to start by next Wednesday, right? To have 10 days left in the month for signups. Once I get to the rest of the questions from here in the chat, and then I'll go back and try and dig that out real quick. That's a good question. How will parents know if schedule registrations have been received by counselors? That's also an awesome question. Let's see, Ms. Barnes is in a webinar. I don't know if Ms. Midget's in the meeting or not. We'll call her in just a second, but in huge credit to the student services team, because they have taken all the registrations we've gotten, and we're going to be sending course verification at some point soon. So you'll get to see what your student has signed up for. And I believe that is the time you'll be able to see what classes are there and change classes if you want. Let me see if we have a timeline on that already. Really? Let me see if I can guess. Hey, I guessed right. Look at that. I memorized an extension. I'll check with Ms. Midget again later, but I do know at this point that they are finalizing all the registrations we've gotten, and we're going to be sharing out verification forms at some point soon. So be on the lookout for that to verify what you have registered for. And then the last question on the Google form is another really good one. For the sake of safety, can the side gate of the football stadium not be locked or have someone there at all times in case of an emergency? Last Friday was unnerving. I don't know, but I do know that there are substantial flow charts for how all the stuff and safety and security have to go. But what I can do is I can absolutely take that question to Mr. Flowers and Coach East, ask them that, and I will bring that back next week. So actually, let me go ahead. I'm going to turn this question green so that I remember to answer it again next week. We'll just document that there. Alrighty, let's see. Hello, chat. Welcome to the party. Will there be a new student orientation for incoming freshmen? So historically, we do an orientation in May for incoming freshmen. We don't totally know what that's going to look like yet. But we also know that we're going to, in a lot of cases, we're going to have to do an orientation for freshmen, incoming freshmen, and this year's freshmen, and maybe a, hey, welcome back to next year's juniors who have only been on campus for 2/3 of a year. Um, it's a pretty bonkers situation. I mean, nobody is surprised. We've all been here together for a year now. And I'm glad to have had this experience all year with you guys. It's been really refreshing. Um, but please know that that connection, wanting to connect incoming freshmen with what we do here in the physical space, is something that is a huge priority to us. Right now, we're still trying to get our hands wrapped around all of the Plan A considerations. I'm going to speak on behalf of the team, which I try not to do all the time. But y'all, we were beat on Friday. I was so tired. My muscles were cold about a lot of things. We here at Millbrook, we have an on-call day where the administrative team takes turns carrying the radio and responding to anything that happens so that the rest of the team can have meetings and be in classrooms and things. And on-call day has been very light all year. And now that we're in Plan A, it is back in full swing. But that also reminds me of some things that I want to share. First of all, you'll notice in the weekly message that we're sending out, there's that list of symptoms, and I'm really quickly just going to read through it. Fever, that's an obvious one, right? Sore throat, new cough, shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, loss of taste or smell, diarrhea or vomiting, or a new severe headache. So if a student comes to us and says, man, I have this really bad headache, like that is the threshold for me calling home and saying, hey, you need to leave and you need to go get tested or quarantine. So it's hard, right? Like we need kids to tell us when they're not feeling bad. But again, like I copy and paste this from the district, new severe headache is on there. And I can tell you that we have sent 7, 8, 9, 10 kids home in the last several days because they come and they're like, hey, my stomach is not feeling well. Nausea is on the list. So we're going to send you home and ask you to get tested. Headache is on the list. We're going to send you home and ask you to get tested. And we understand that that can be really inconvenient for families, but please know that the threshold right now is very, very low. So if a student comes to us complaining of symptoms like that, then we have to have that conversation. And similarly, it's hard, right? Like we had a student who was feeling really nervous first day back and got sick in a bathroom, didn't tell anybody, went to class, was probably just nerves. But again, because they had thrown up, like I have to send them home and they have to get tested. So just know that the threshold there is very low right now. And we love your kids and we wanted to be here, but we also want to make sure we keep everybody safe. And you guys saw the number of cases reported by the district recently is pretty high. So we just want to be extra cautious because we've been doing a really great job here on site for the whole year and we don't want to mess that up. The second thing pertains to lunch. I know a lot of families were very excited that off-campus lunch came back. There's some things that we need to talk about. Off-campus lunch passes have to be picked up before school or after school. And yes, it is true that at 7:30, which is after first period has started, we are actually taking kids out of the line and saying, hey, you need to go to class. Sorry, sometimes I get feedback in the middle of a thought. Off-campus lunch passes are only before school or after school, but anecdotally, a lot of the kids who are frustrated that they can't get their pass are trying to get in line at 7:18 or 7:21. The students who are coming in and getting their pass are showing up at 7:05, 7 o'clock. You know, you walk up, Miss Cooper is a pro. She's been doing this longer than I've been at Millbrook. So she's turning them around super fast. And please remember that the parent signature does have to be notarized. The other piece about off-campus lunch, and it has gotten a little better, but we were pretty frustrated on Friday of last week because Thursday, students leave for lunch at 10:30. And we had students coming back an hour, 90 minutes later from lunch, just cruising back in. The other thing is like we can't have food in the building. It's pretty specific. Like everybody knows if you're eating on campus, there's that window. That's the only time that people can eat in the building unless they're in a room by themselves. So for kids, that is tough because there is no real permutation for eating in the building other than that. So we have had to tell students like, you can't take that I've seen smoothies and stuff from Starbucks, some Dunkin' Donuts cups, but like I have this because I'm in my office by myself, but like I can't bring this and have this in a classroom because there's no protocol for drinking in a classroom. And we don't want open containers. Like we need sealed containers if they're going to come in the building. So if your kid's going off campus and you could chat with them about, hey, make sure you're back. I think the bell for class rings at 11:05. So it's a 35-minute window to go and come back. We know it takes a minute to get out of the parking lot, but we've done many test runs. Everyone here is a pro at trying to get to Cookout or Chick-fil-A or whatever. So anyway, just anecdotally, I wanted to share that. Those are sort of the sticking points for some of the team on Friday and Monday of this week. Information about graduation time selection and any information about graduation. Nope. I know communication was sent out a week or so ago about here's how we're doing it. The district is working on some extra stuff and has asked us to hold off while we finalize some other details. So that communication is coming from Ms. Courtwright, Ms. Sanchez, Ms. Midget, and the whole crew responsible for coordinating graduation. They had a big meeting yesterday, so I imagine we're going to have more information coming out soon. I can't speak to that timeline. No worries, Ms. Sparks. We're glad to have you. Honors Academic Celebration is the 28th. Shout out, Ms. Griffiths. Thanks for hooking us up with the answer. Does the calendar say it's today? Oh, I bet I know what you're talking about. The calendar. You said the calendar on the website. Okay. Let's talk about that. The district is asking us to use a specific calendar module on the website, and we have to edit that manually, like every single event. It doesn't talk to Google, and it's a total pain in the neck. So the one on the website for now needs to have an asterisk, and I'll try and put a warning about that on there. Please use the Google Calendar. I will link it in the right-hand column, the Google Master Calendar, so that you can access that. I'm sorry about that, but yes, Academic Celebration is on the 28th. Those school verifications are being mailed home along with report cards. That sounds right, actually. Can parents go to the football game this Friday? So we allot tickets by program. Like the band gets a certain number of parent tickets, so I believe the dance team might get a certain number of parent tickets, but I'm not involved in that process. So Ms. Miller, Ms. Robinson, if you'll contact Ms. Miller, she's got the answer for you. Hybrid for orientation. Some of the symptoms are also a result of the students get a vaccine. So how is that addressed? Right, that's hard. The bottom line is we're not. Okay, so the question is this, like when I was going over all the symptoms, some of those symptoms are the result of the vaccine, and that's true. We have to address everything the same. If we see that symptom, we're going to ask for the child to get picked up and get tested. Now, what I can tell you is we've had students picked up early, 8:30. They go right around the corner to what road is that? Departure Drive has a free testing site. And we have seen turnaround times of 6 hours. Like I often get emails with negative tests the same day if they get picked up in the morning. So yes, it's inconvenient, but with the Departure Drive testing site, a lot of times, as long as it's not something more serious, a lot of times kids can get a negative result and show back up the next day. Let me ask about report cards. Also, feel free to be like, hey, Patton, why don't you just move that piece of paper to your desk? Because I feel like I look at this 10 times every time we do this. Hey, can I ask you a question for the YouTube crowd? The question is, when will report cards be mailed out or given to students? They were mailed out. So they're like incoming now. Sweet. Did we send out course verification with that, or is that a separate process? Oh, right on. Yeah, let's get on that right now. Okay, I will tell them. Thank you so much. All right, bye. Good news. Okay, so report cards were bundled, report cards and course verification. If you're a junior, you also got the meningitis vaccine. The meningitis vaccine flyer. You'll remember from way back in the beginning of the year, we were reminding seniors this year that there was the new law that was in place from 3 or 4 years ago, but this is when it went into effect. That all seniors had to have submitted their meningitis vaccine record. So now is the time, parents of juniors, to start thinking about getting that done so you have it, because that did prevent some students from coming in the building, and in some cases they ended up being unenrolled for a day or two, or at least denied access to their Wake ID stuff. But those were pretty extreme circumstances. But again, it is a state law, so look for the meningitis stuff. For everybody else, 9, 10, 12, for 12th graders, the report card's in the mail. You should see it maybe today, maybe as late as next Tuesday. Freshmen, sophomores, and juniors also have your course verifications in that document as well. So most of you will see report card and course verification. Juniors will see report card, course verification, and meningitis information. Seniors, just the report card. But you got bigger things on the horizon, so I don't think you're that worried about it. So keep an eye out for that. Although mail has been weird. I don't know if mail has been weird for you guys, but I feel like my mail comes in spurts. It was slow back in October, and then it got normal, and now it's weird again. And this is the Q3 report cards. We're in Q4 right now, so we just mailed out report cards from the end of Q3, which was the last week of March. Next year, classes will be known after school is out this year. We generally release final schedules historically. Freshmen get their final schedules at CATS Camp. Seniors get their schedules at senior kickoff, and then we open them up to everybody else the first week of August. Let me talk to Miss Midget. Hello there. No, you're just fine. Let me go back and see if I can remember the question that YouTube had that I didn't. Oh, it was about course verifications, but then when I called Bunting about report cards, he also had that answer. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought there was a bigger picture there for sure. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. Right on. Okay. That's awesome. Right on. Thank you so much. All right. Bye now. So yes, Q1 and Q2 were not mailed. That was the bigger picture. Now I got to get everything back. Is the return to ABDs for next year, AB days next year, a certainty for Millbrook? Yes. And that is a big reason for the year-long commitment to Virtual Academy. That's a big reason we went to block this year. We knew that the district was going to offer a mechanism to switch mid-year. And we knew that that also meant that some kids were going to end up in this half credit situation, which is, one, a total pain in the neck to deal with, and two, mathematically bad for GPAs in some cases. So it was better for a lot of reasons. It was very difficult for everyone in the diploma program. Like, so all my DP families here, we get it, we know. But that is sort of what happens in public school, right? Like, we got a school with 2,300 kids. I have to make a decision for not just the majority, but like for 90% of the school. And so we went to block for this 1 year because we knew that there was going to be that mid-year mechanism. Next year, we're going back to the AB day. And so there won't be a mechanism to change. If you do sign up for Virtual Academy, you'll be there for the whole year. You have not been missing Q1 and Q2. Yes. Yeah, Q1 and Q2 report cards were available at the guest services window. I think they've probably been filed at this point, but we can probably pull them for you if you want to have the matching set. Right on. Let me check the Google form. Oh, this is outstanding. More questions in the Google form. I checked the Google form. Let me fix my face. The question is this. Ms. King mentioned there is no prom. Found out Leesville is indeed having prom on campus in 1 hour signups for seniors with a DJ. Can we get this info to Ms. King? I can assure you that Ms. King already has that info. NHS tapping ceremony, what is that? My student is in NHS and I have no idea what that is. So NHS tapping, which is that on the... That sort of already happened, I think. It is now no longer on the Google Calendar because I think we changed that whole process. There are certainly some artifacts left on the calendar. We build this Google Calendar a year at a time in June, and we populate it with hundreds of events. And so this year has been really hard as like small details have changed. The NHS tapping ceremony is normally where the new members of NHS, we go into classes and actually tap them to let them know that they're in. But we didn't do it that way this year. So for now, I would just ignore that. So I did not say there is no prom in that answer, but I am going to say it here. Millbrook High School is not planning a prom. I'm sorry. Sorry, it's not a fun note to end on, I know, but guidance from the district and a bunch of other things, that's not something that is, we're working really hard to plan a bunch of things that are meaningful. Things are still sort of limited, but we've got some of the best people brainstorming ideas for other options. So yes, that being said, we also have a drill that I have to participate in here at some point here in the next little bit. So I need to do a very, very quick last call, and then I have to disappear. So if you got a question, now is the time to drop it in the chat. With kids back in school daily, what are the front window hours or best times to come by as needed? 7 to 3? Let's get the final answer on that. This one I should have memorized. Hey, front window hours now that we're in plan A, 7 to 3? Yep, 7 to 3. Okay, thank you. Bye. Yep, 7 to 3 if you need to swing by and pick anything up. It is busy in the mornings right now because kids are trying to get off-campus lunch passes. By 7:28, it's much calmer. So if you've got some time to swing by after 7:30, you're going to be able to walk right up. Yeah, that sounds right, Ms. Sparks. So for the NHS thing, I believe that Dr. Carr is emailing students. I thought that might have already happened, but it sounds like it hasn't. But instead of tapping, they're emailing individual students. I don't know if that's today. It is in a weekly message from some weeks ago. We can go look up. Ms. Miller's email in the chat. Yes, I can. Miss Miller apparently tends to have better answers than I do anyway. So, hey. To be fair, I do go to her office and ask a million questions a day. So, right on. All right. So, thank you so much. Happy Wednesday. Let us know again. I know the prom news is not great news, but I didn't want to not answer it. I believe strongly that we're going to answer questions that are asked here. And sometimes that is hard, but I love you all. And thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there. And we will see everybody next week. Is the front office open today? Yes. Yes, you can. Miss Cooper is down there. So feel free to swing by. Everyone else, have a great day. Enjoy the weather. It seems like the pollen count is down. That might be naive. I heard it's supposed to rain tonight, so stay safe. We'll see y'all next week. Love you much.